steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Come on. My text will be entitled, Righteous Men Standing in the Gap as Leaders. Laymen and royal ambassadors, I want to start by stating this morning that God is well pleased at the stand that each of you are taking. There are not really many righteous men in our communities today that are willing to serve God. Thank you for taking the stand. Amen. As we take a look at our text on this afternoon, we see that God is looking for a righteous man. A man after his own heart. I can only imagine how hurt God must have been as he searched for a man that would stand in the gap. God was not looking to destroy the people of Israel. He wanted them to turn away from their wicked ways and live the abundant life which he had promised. Amen. The Lord is searching amongst men all over the land, even in Jones Chapel today, a man that will stand in the gap. Our land is sick. You know the land is sick whenever premature death, violence, and crime is taking our youth out. Last week, several young men were killed. That is a problem. It's time out for us sitting at home, watching the news and talking amongst ourselves about the things that are happening, but we fail to put forth any action to resolve those problems in our land. It is time for some righteous men to stand in the gap and be leaders. Our churches are in dire need of leaders, such as you men. A leader that is going to have a positive influence on others and impact the lives of others around them. Amen. Well, you may be wondering, what makes this righteous man stand out as a leader in the eyesight of God? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is a man whose heart is after God. A man that can be counted on, a God-fearing man, an obedient man, a respectful man, and a man that is a bold servant for the Lord. Does that sound like any of you this morning? Okay. Secondly, what makes this righteous man a leader? According to Psalms 37 and 23, this man's steps are ordered by the Lord. Not by man, but the Lord. So when this man wants to go astray, something on the inside, working to the outside, will keep him on the path. Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, the 6th verse states, in all thy ways, acknowledge him. He shall direct your path. So Laymen and royal ambassadors in everything that you do, whether it be for man or for God, seek God, and he will never lead you astray. Stand up, men, and be that righteous leader for your community. How many more premature deaths, acts of crimes, or violence will have to occur before we decide to stand in the gap? It is sad whenever our young African-American males are killing one another on a regular basis. There are more black young men in prison now than there were back in the days of slavery. It is our responsibility as men to help stop all of these things that are affecting our communities in a negative way. Some of the things that are occurring in our communities can and could have been prevented. It is time for us to go out in the hedges and highways in an effort to compel men and women, boys and girls, so that they might be saved. Men, your church needs you. Today, most of our churches are made up of predominantly women. Come on. Where are the men? Why are men in church? Men, it is our responsibility to serve in the church alongside the women. God is calling you men. Stop living under your privileges. Lastly, God is calling for every one of you, righteous men, to stand in the gap and be leaders. Righteous leaders in the home, in the school, in the church, on your job, and everywhere you go. Be that righteous leader that God is searching for. In conclusion, be that righteous leader that changes the environment which you occupy. A professor once gave a demonstration to his class. He took an egg, a carrot, and some coffee, and boiled a pot of water. From there, he placed the egg into the boiled water. The egg immediately turned hard. He didn't add the carrots. They became mushy and soft. Lastly, he poured the coffee into the water. The coffee, unlike the egg and carrots, changed the water. Yeah. I said all of that to say, Laymen and royal ambassadors, we need to be like the coffee grinds and change the environment around us. God is counting on each of you to take the stand and be that righteous leader that will willingly stand in the gap. God bless you, Laymen.